Greetings, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. This is your Western forecast for April 2025. There's a major emphasis that's unfolding over the next couple of months, could be impacting you for the next few years. And that is because the new moon solar eclipse on March the 29th, I talked about this a bit in last month's video. It's in Aries. Aries is always trying to bring in new energies, new beginnings. And an eclipse just also wants to bring in some new energies. Now, it's in Aries, which is 4 signs past Capricorn. So this eclipse repeats the same cycle every 19 years. Hence why this could be impacting you for a number of years. So we're going to be emphasizing 4th house matters. Home, family, property, maybe food, restaurants, domestic matters, domestic furnishings. That's all in that 4th house. But there's many ways that 4th house can unfold. And so I have some clues to help narrow it down. Mercury, decision-making Mercury, went retrograde in Aries the middle of March in your 4th house, home, family, property. With Mercury, you're rethinking, you're reevaluating, you're being confused, you're not sure. And it was in that 4th house of property and family. As the Mercury was retrograding, it retrograded out of Aries into Pisces as we're going into April. And Mercury is retrograde in Pisces until April the 7th, when it goes direct. When it goes direct, you're feeling a little bit more decisive, more clarity, more focused. But Pisces is 3 signs past Capricorn. So what you're curious about and planning and thinking about Mercury is with 3rd house matters. The 3rd house can represent learning, selling, but since we're talking about family to some degree, the 3rd house represents siblings. So there could be, with Mercury going direct, wanting to reconnect and resolve any conflicts or to catch up. But Mercury is always learning and curious, and the 3rd house is about communications. So you might be wanting to take classes and learn new job skills. And that could be under the domain of property, real estate. Now, Venus went retrograde in Aries in your 4th house, March the 1st. And which happens Venus retrogrades every year and a half. It's a time of testing and reevaluating relationships, but Venus is also creative. Are you reevaluating with your creative if you're an artist, if you're in a creative business and starting to really rethink where is all this going. But the Venus, as we got closer to April, retrograded out of Aries into Pisces in your 3rd house. The first 12 days of April, Venus is still retrograde in your 3rd house. So you could still be second guessing and questioning 3rd house. Well, maybe that's with siblings. But the 3rd house is often associated with learning. Should I quit classes or school? Should I start them up? The 3rd house of communications could also be selling. Are you trying to sell your products, trying to sell yourself? Are you wanting to learn, 3rd house, how to sell real estate? Or how to learn how to flip a house? Or how to invest in property? That's that 4th house for rentals, like Airbnb rentals. And that's that whole third house of learning, of taking classes, of selling. Now, the North Node went into Pisces at the beginning of 2025 into your third house, about once every 18 to 19 years. The karmic North Node will seem like it was meant to be in hindsight. But while you're going through it, the karmic North Node, what it does when it's impacting your chart or impacting a transiting planet, it's intensifying, it's amplifying. Well, taskmaster, committed, responsible Saturn went into Pisces March of 2023, and it's giving us a preview into Aries over June, July, August, but by the very end of May. Now, this is a big deal also for the world, because Saturn in Pisces, that sense of security is too dreamy, too feeling fluid, not feeling solid, not feeling secure. Then the Saturn every 30 years moves into Aries, and it's taking action, being courageous to launch major new projects. So this is good for the world. Coming out of this hazy, confused, anxiety-provoking energy, and now Saturn, which in Aries, wanting to take action, being more ambitious. The Saturn joining the North Node is exact April the 17th to the 23rd. Now, this is going to trigger some sort of an event for everybody on some level, but it could happen a couple of weeks before or a couple of weeks after. But most people, it will be in the middle into the third week of that third week of April. And what it's doing is the North Node is intensifying and amplifying all this commitment and responsibility of Saturn, aligning with the third house, with Mercury and Venus going direct in the third house. So all this attention and focus and commitment could be on learning, and that could be about real estate or domestic products or agriculture and land. The third house is that commitment for learning or selling. If you wanted to do the Airbnb, learning how to be a realtor, that's the third house. It's also about selling yourself. So, trying to, if you're looking for a job, and that Saturn could be very favorable to keeping you very focused on learning and selling yourself. Now, to really put all this together, we have to look at Mars, because Mars is ambitious and assertive, and Mars is moving into your 8th house, but once every 2 years. 8th house is corporate and financial and business partnerships, which kind of ties in a lot of this business. But before I talk about Mars entering back into Leo, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Now, Mars, assertive, ambitious, goal-oriented, Mars is going into your 8th house of finance and joint ventures and business partnerships, April the 17th for 2 months, till June the 17th. But you already have clues, because Mars, once every 2 years, went into Leo back in November. And December the 6th, it went, slowed down and stopped in retrograde. So whatever your goals and drives with finance and joint ventures of Mars in the 8th in November, come December, it might have been more delayed, more frustrating, more sluggish. And then the Mars retrograded into Cancer, which it is until April the 17th, and it's back into Leo. Mars in Cancer, January through the middle of April. Cancer is opposite Capricorn. The opposite deals with partnerships and contracts and the significant other and marriage. And so with Mars, there could have been a lot of impatientness, a lot of ambition, a lot of activity with partnerships and contracts. And that could be really setting up the 8th house, because the 8th house has a lot to do with finance and joint ventures and negotiating contracts. And so you could be very busy with that from April the 17th to June the 17th. The 8th house, if finance, deals with loans, mortgages, settlements, investors. So we're adding in all that third, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, North Node, the third of learning and selling and negotiating. The big solar eclipse impacting everybody for years for Capricorn could be with land and property, maybe a family business. But now we're bringing in Mars into the 8th, and you could start becoming very active and learning the 3rd house. With 8th house could be loans and mortgages and escrows and finance. Now, 2 weeks after a new moon is a full moon. The full moon starts to reveal what the new moon was trying to bring to manifest. The new moon solar eclipse was March the 29th in your 4th. 2 weeks later, on the 13th of April, is a full moon in Libra. And Libra is 10 signs past Capricorn. Capricorn's also the 10th sign of the zodiac. The 10th, or Capricorn, is all about organization and business and being pragmatic. And that full moon is bringing to light and starting to reveal what that solar eclipse is trying to bring in. So some kind of business, full moon in the 10th house of careers, April the 13th, that's involving 4th house, real estate, home furnishings, land, agriculture. But I'm wondering if it has a lot to do with the business, setting up a business with joint ventures, business partnerships around real estate. That's that 4th house of real estate, the 8th house, the escrows, the joint ventures, the business partnerships. So I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.